is, oh my freaking god, I have a massive insect on my camera. Oh my god. Oh shit. A bird shitted on the computer. Hi guys, it's me, Lisa, and today I'm gonna review another book. It's not a new book, but I wanted to compare the book with the movie. Of course, I'm talking about Gone Girl. You would have seen it from the thumbnail. It's a book that was rated so highly, and I initially mindlessly watched the movie before reading the book, and I thought it was a really good movie. I liked it, and then now I read the book and oh god, I have thoughts. So I'm gonna briefly tell you that the book was written by Gillian Flynn, and it takes a twist on the canonical idea of the husband always being the culprit for the wife's murder, and it is a murder mystery. I am of course gonna tell you that in this review you are gonna hear loads of spoilers because many of my extracts are taken from the book, so you will really hear loads of spoilers. Talking about the book, here it is, and I wanna use it to read to you some little extracts that will make you understand the characters if you don't already know them. So I liked the two main characters because they are unlikable as fuck. So it's not easy to make an unlikable character so truthful. So I liked that of the book. Amy is of course paranoid. She is hooked on the idea of being amazing Amy, which is, oh my freaking god, I have a massive insect on my camera. Oh my god. It's crawling on the table. Fuck. My god. Oh, that was so disgusting. Okay, let's skip it. Let's go back to Amy. Okay, so Amy, she's paranoid and she is hooked on the idea of being amazing Amy, which is the character of a book she wrote, and then she loses her job. No one cares about amazing Amy anymore, but she is still hooked on being amazing Amy, and she wants to be the perfect girl, so perfect that it's too perfect. Of course it's fake, and I like that as well because she's so convinced that everyone is gonna like her better if she was that perfect person, but she actually isn't at all. And it's kind of crazy that she actually thinks she will be liked more in that way, because actually, wow, I didn't like her at all. And then she is surprised also when Nick sees her true colors and doesn't like her. It's like, were you surprised? I think you shouldn't be, because she is completely bonkers and doesn't get it. Of course she's crazy. And then she is also very much a planner, and she uses this skill to plan and prepare a whole plan to ruin Nick's life because he has a mistress. So he betrays his wife, which is not good, but we will talk about him in a second. And this is not love at all, but she believes it's love because he manages to make her believe he still loves her, and she is unable to let him go, and it's just obsession, not love at all, but she doesn't get that. And she is a very static character because she doesn't want to change even after everything that happens, so that tells a lot about her. She's gonna lie and lie so much that people are gonna believe her, but in such a wrong way that, yeah, of course, it's like, what can you expect from such a crazy character, I think. And she manipulates everyone around her, and this is clear because so many people believe in what she says, which I'm thinking, like, ask you some more questions, because I think her story does not add up. But she is like that. People buy into her story because they want to see her. So after all this premise, I wanna read some extracts that will show how paranoid and absolutely bonkers she is. I made her do it again, in front of me, piss on the stick, me squatting next to her on the bathroom, watching the urine come out of her and hitting the stick, turning it pregnant blue. Then I hushed into the car and drove to the doctor's office, and I watched the blood come out of her because she isn't really afraid of blood, and we waited for 2 hours for this test to come back. Amy was pregnant. This is to tell you that she did everything in her power to keep Nick linked to her, including get pregnant without having sex, which is crazy. I'll need to do a few more things for my security, Nick, she said, because I have to say it's almost impossible to trust you. To start, you'll have to delete your book, obviously, and just to put that matter to rest, you'll need to F it, and to put that matter to rest, we'll need to F it, and you need to swear that it was you who put stuff in the woodshed, and that you did once think it was framing you, but now you love me, and I love you, and everything is good. What if I refuse? She put her hand on the small swollen belly and frowned. I think it would be awful. Oh my god, I hate that girl. She's so hateful. Unable to like her at all. Like, at all. But let's go to Nick, because he's not likable either. Like, at all. So, Nick, he evolves during the story, and he goes from being an absolute asshole to be a super afraid guy that stays for some reason with Amy, and I have theories about that. So, beginning of the story, he's not likable at all, betrays Amy, and is not interested in her in any way, shape, or form. And the more the story goes on, the more he gets hooked on her for doing everything she does, which is not something good at all, because she puts up a scene of him murdering her just to punish him, which, so okay. And there's also the fact that he knows how fake she is, and he knows how to be fake to benefit himself, which is something that she does all the time. And he decides to not escape at the beginning because he wants to create a whole plan of revenge against her, but then he ends up staying with her long enough so that he starts to forget what she did. Okay, that was the wind. He starts to forget what she did, and he starts to kind of like her, kind of don't want to leave her because he's too afraid of what she will do to him if he decides to leave, which is bonkers, crazy. I wouldn't do that, but of course he does. And he writes a whole book explaining the whole crazy story, and he plans to punish her, but he starts to feel special for the fact that she punished him in such a complex way that he is a kind of representation of the Stockholm syndrome, because he gets so hooked on what she did that he decides to stay, which is just crazy. And I'm gonna show you some extracts that show how crazy he is and how unreasonable he is in everything that he does. I showed her the manuscript, displayed the glaring title, Psycho Bitch, a little inside joke. We both like our jokes. I waited for her to scratch my cheeks, rip my clothes, bite me. Oh, what perfect timing, she said carefully, and gave me a grin. Can I show you something? And here's when she shows him that she's pregnant. I was a prisoner after all. Amy had me forever, or as long as she wanted, because I needed to save my son, to try to unlatch the burb, undo everything that Amy said. I would literally lay down in front of my life for my child, and do it happily. I would raise my son to be a good man. I deleted my story. My gosh, Nick, why are you so wonderful to me? He was supposed to say, you deserve it, I love you, but he said, because I feel sorry for you. Why? Because every morning you have to wake up and be you. So it appears that yes, he knows what he's getting into, but he wants to do that kind of hero of the situation thing when he saves the child, and he is the good guy of the whole situation and does everything good for him, even though he's not the best father, probably, and he was not the best man, so it's kind of questionable. So yeah, he's not a good guy either, but at the end it seems that he kind of knows what is going on better than Amy does, or in some sort he's still kind of sane, but I believe he's not anymore, like not completely, because to be with a girl like that, you're not sane, you just are not. And then I wanted to talk about a third character that I liked, and I think in the book and in the movie they are faithful to the story. So in the movie it's very faithful to the book, how they are portrayed, and the third character is Go, so it's Nick's twin sister. And Go is, I think, the voice of reason in the story, and it's very significant that at the beginning of the book Go is very much listened to. She's the one that brings everyone back to reality, brings Nick back from his crazy ideas of the, oh my god, I'm gonna keep the mistress and stuff and it's gonna be good, because it's not gonna be good. He needs to quit the mistress, he needs to step back onto reality and make it seem like he didn't kill Amy, because people are gonna believe it no matter if he did it or not. And therefore she is the voice of reason, but it's very significant that after the passage that I'm gonna read you, she is no longer mentioned, as a significance that Nick is no longer listening to the voice of reason, to reality. He is no longer willing to make reality step in, because if reality tells him what's going on, he is not gonna cope with it. So he needs to have this idea of making a good choice. He has to tell himself that he's doing something good for the child, for himself, for Amy, for everyone. So he's not listening to the voice of reason anymore, and I'm gonna show you how. Nick, I don't want you in that house anymore. You're not an undercover cop. You know it's not your job. You're living with a murderer. Fucking leave. I'm sorry, but who gives a shit who has killed Daisy? I don't want her to kill you. I mean, someday you burn her grilled cheese, and next morning you know my phone is ringing and you've taken an awful fall from the roof or some shit. Leave. I can't. Not yet. She'll never really let me go. She likes the game too much. Then stop playing it. I can't. I'm getting too much better at it. I will stay close to her until I can bring her down. I'm the only one left who can do it. Someday she'll slip and tell me something I can use. He is believing that he will do it. He is convinced that he will break her, but she won't break because she is sick. She's crazy and she will keep going with her crazy things. So he is absolutely telling himself all sorts of lies just to be with her, which is so crazy in my mind. She is just crazy and he is crazy to want to be with her completely. And I think this is shown very well in the movie as well. It's very good, the movie. It really shows everything that is in the book. So if you've not read the book, I say that you're just missing out on the good descriptions. As a story reflection, I believe that the story was really ingenious. I really liked the idea of her being the crazy one for once, and it's a good justice for women, and at the same time it shows that women can be crazy too, and it's more of a justice for men, I think. But at the same time, the woman is always portrayed as the good one, the good guy, the victim, but this time he is the victim. And so it was really refreshing for me to read a story where a woman was the culprit, a woman was the crazy one, a woman was the murderer. Because if you think about everything else, like for example Hannibal Lecter, he's a man. Saw, he's a man and he's doing everything and he's crazy, and all of those movies have male protagonists. The Joker, a male. It, a male. They are all males. We need female villains that are clever but crazy, because those villains are crazy and they are men, and so men have this stigma of being the crazy ones, but they shouldn't always be. And we need those female evil characters that are gonna make it even for men. So I think it was really good, and I loved the descriptions, and I loved that Amy wrote into the diary as if it was a book, and I really loved that, because she was staging everything, and I think she was a good writer, even though she is a shit person, but that happens in real life too. Is it surprising? No, I think. Oh shit. A bird shitted on the computer. That's good. I'm gonna clean it afterwards. And rating out of 5 stars is gonna be 5 of 5 stars for the book and 4 out of 5 for the movie, because the suspense wasn't built up as efficiently in my mind, so it wasn't that great, but still was a really good movie, really faithful to the book, really good in every way a movie can be good and faithful to the book, because I think that is very important. There are some details that you're not going to pick up on, and I feel that Nick was very much clearer in the book. He was very much more developed, whereas in the movie he was kind of, I don't know, still, and he didn't really have reasons why he changed that much. But in the movie that was very clear, and Amy's very clear. She is a lot more psycho in the book than in the movie in my mind. And would I recommend it? Yes, and I especially would recommend it to people that are going to study stories to write them themselves, because both the book and the movie are, I think, very well done in those terms and are very, very good to learn the craft. So I really hope that you liked this comparison and this explanation. I prefer the book, but the movie is not bad, so if you're not a reader, I would say watch the movie. You're not gonna regret it. And if you like this style of video, please tell me below what I should do next, what book I should compare to the movie or the series, because there are those as well. I was thinking about maybe the series on Netflix that is about chess that I want to buy the book of, and all of that jazz. So tell me if you want to see something like that again, and if you like the video, please subscribe, hit the thumb up, and comment down below if you are gonna read the book, you've read the book, how you thought it was the book, and if you watched the movie and what you thought about that. So I really hope you liked it, and we will see each other next week. Bye guys.